Today is December the 1st, 2013. Getting ready to do an interview with Ernest Cloud, the third generation owner of Cloud and Son Funeral Home. The building you're looking at now is the old Cloud Funeral Home that was owned as a family business. Record.
Okay. Emma Virginia Singletary Cloud started Cloud Funeral Home in 1925. It was Cloud and Son Funeral Home up until 2011. My grandmother started the business she was taking care of people when they were sick at their homes and they would pass and they had no one at that time to bury them. The first black funeral home in Cairo was the Vandergrift Funeral Home. My grandmother started her funeral home in 1925 along with her and John Williams ran the funeral home up until 1948 until she taught Ernest W. Cloud Sr., her son, in moving back from New York to go in the funeral home business as she had gotten up in age. My grandfather, Thomas Calvin Cloud Sr., was Emma Virginia Cloud's husband, but he had nothing to do with the funeral home because he was a barber and he was afraid of dead people. During those years, she was assisted by John Williams and Barry Gilmore and others, and she ran the funeral home up until 1948. In the year of 1948, Ernest W. Cloud Sr. Returned back to Cairo and ran the funeral home up until about 1988. After his health failed, then he turned it over to his son, Ernest W. Cloud Jr., and he has...
And just start up where you left.
Okay, in 1948, my grandmother turned the business over to her son, Ernest W. Cloud Sr., and he ran the business until 1988 after he became ill and turned it over to his son, Ernest W. Cloud Jr. And the funeral home was ran in the name of Cloud and Son Funeral Home up until 2010 when my daughter, LaTonya Cloud Bryant, went to embalming school, and she said that she was not a son and then we needed to change the name. So we changed the name from Cloud and Son Funeral Home to Cloud Funeral Home so that she could be included as part of the business. The funeral home has ran for almost over 75 years, and we moved from the first location was in the two-spot building on First Avenue Southwest, and it was a neighborhood building that was built by a group of black men that moved back to Cairo during the early 50s. Then they moved to 198 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. At that time it was 2nd Avenue Southwest, and now we moved to the new location at 335 1st Avenue Northeast here in Cairo. The funeral home basically has the same principles as my grandmother started in trying to help people. We did change the slogan. My grandmother's slogan was the poor man friend. We changed it from the poor man friend to our family helping other families. And that's what we strive to do during this time, is to assist families and to help families in preparing their deceased loved ones for burial, and also to help families in need. The business is a thriving business, and it keeps running, and we will continue to run it with my daughter, LaTonya Bryant Cloud, and my son, Anatole Emil Cloud, who also both have been to embalming school and are serving their apprenticeships and we're getting ready to take their licensing board so that they can become funeral directors and embalmers here at Cloud Funeral Home.
Okay, Mr. McLeod, that was a wonderful background of the funeral home. Now give me a little bit of how you came into the funeral home business.
Well, I grew up in the funeral home being a child. We used to live next door to the funeral home when it was on 2nd Avenue Southwest. And they used to send me across the street to cut the lights off at night. And I always had a passion to help people and to be a part of the funeral business. When I graduated from high school, I went to Morris Brown College. I decided that my father had a severe heart attack, and I dropped out of college to go to embalming school at American Academy at McAllister's Institute in New York City. During the time that my father had the heart attack, I got drafted in the military and was unable to complete the studies at American Academy. And after serving 2 years with the military, I came back and was in the first graduating class of the Gulfton Jones College of Mortuary Science in Atlanta, Georgia. Completed my licensure as a funeral director and embalmer. Have also served on the Georgia State Board of Funeral Service and regulating licensed people for 12 years. Have been president of the Georgia Funeral Service Practitioners Association. I've come up through the ranks serving as Secretary, District Chairman. Also, I've also served as President and Chairman of the Board of our state association. I served on the national level as a member, as the District 5 Chairman of the National Funeral Directors and Morticians Association, and have been an active member for more than 40 years.
Great. Now your two children, are they willing participants to carry on the Cloud funeral business once you have gone on?
They are. My son Anatole he works in Tallahassee at the present time at Florida A&M Mechanical University, and he's very active in the day-to-day operation of the funeral home. My daughter LaTanya works for the Sheriff Department in Thomasville, and she's a Seventh-day Adventist, and they have church on Saturday, and 90% of our funerals are on Saturday. And basically we use her when it's severely necessary, because she's in charge of the youth department at her church. But both of them are very active in the funeral business, and especially in decision making of what we're going to buy, or how we're going to do, or what we're going to do.
Okay, and I heard you spoke about your grandmother who started Cloud and Son Funeral Home, but you didn't say anything about your grandfather. Could you give us a little input on your grandfather?
My grandfather, Thomas Calvin Cloud Sr., we call him Papa Tom, was afraid of dead people. He really had nothing to do with the funeral business. He was a barber by trade. And Papa never took off his hat. He kept his hat on all the time. Unless he was in church or something. He was a deacon at the Mount Calvary Missionary Baptist Church here in Cairo, and my grandmother was an avid member of that church. My father, I followed my mother's footsteps and joined the AME Church. But my grandfather was a barber, and he went to the barber shop every day and to cut hair.
Now, what about your father? That's your grandfather, but what about your father?
My father received his license when he came back from New York, and he had a funeral director's license, where back then you could serve an apprenticeship and take the test and pass it and receive a funeral director's license. My father was very active in the Georgia Georgia Funeral Service Practitioners Association, and he was very active in our district association. and he attended all of the state conventions and all the board meetings, and was an active member for many, many years. My mother was a school teacher and kindergarten teacher, and she played for chapel services and did whatever was asked around the funeral home.
Great. Well, Mr. McLeod, I really do thank you on behalf of the Black History Committee at Mount Calvary Missionary Baptist Church under the pastoralship of Alexander Mike. And once again, Black History Committee, thank you, and thank you for this interview.
Thank you.